Hi, I'm Christian Guzman, and I approve of the Board Shorts and Banter podcast.
Hello there, Thomas Stockton.
What's good?
Oh, mate, what is good? My tummy's full. I know you've been sat waiting for me for 31 minutes, but it will be worth it.
It will be worth it.
Oh,
it will,
good to
mate.
see you, mate. I've not seen you in ages.
Yeah, it's not like you haven't seen me. Hang on, when was we together?
It was just
ago. Not even a week ago, was it?
No, it weren't.
Like 6 days ago, my man. You look different. You look
I've just
radiant.
had a shower. Thank you.
That's why. Yeah, you just look radiant, man. I feel like I look like ill. I don't know if it's the lighting or
it's the north.
Got you.
It's
mate,
the northern water.
What are you doing in my bedroom, by the way?
I've just pissed on the bed again.
Right, anyone that's listened to us, right, and was watching, the bed is comfortable and it was not covered in piss. It wasn't covered in piss. What are you doing?
It wasn't when you arrived, but for some reason, when you woke up in the morning, the bed was wet. So I don't know if you couldn't find the toilet or something in the night, mate, but big accident.
Mate, why are you telling everyone about that? Come on, that was between me and you. But mate,
sorry, bro.
How are things?
Yeah, mate, really good. This week of training, sensational. I know it's only Tuesday, but yesterday's session and today have been molto bueno. And I think a big reason for that is because you kicked my ass last week on pull.
Right, so you when you were like now when you're training, you kind of see me in your mind, like pulling ahead of you.
Like, Tom's an amateur. I am a pro.
I shouldn't be beating you.
Yeah. I should not be losing anything.
But mate, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, of course
it's different. It's bodybuilding, you know?
Different.
So it's like your strength definitely doesn't always correlate to your physique, you know? So it's fine, mate. You're weak. Like basically everyone, like Josh is like really, really weak. Like got in there and I just absolutely schooled him on all movements. I'm joking. He actually beat me on a hinge. But I'm putting the hinge down to the fact that I was on a train for about 4.5 hours and it was awful, mate. The train journey was awful.
Did you say tren?
Yeah.
I thought you did. Yeah.
But what have you trained so far this week then?
I did pull yesterday, push today, PB'd on everything, like more weight, more reps. Magical start to the week. I think last week, at the start of the week, I was a little bit poorly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When we trained together?
Yeah.
Really? Do you know what? I felt a bit like shit when I got back. So I don't know if I maybe got a little something.
What was your symptoms?
I don't know, mate. Like, I don't know if it was just tired. Like, do you remember I was wrecked? Like, I felt tired. I don't know if it's just because, like, lack of sleep and the travel and, like, you know, long days. I don't know. But I didn't really have... how did you feel? Like, what symptoms did you have?
I was absolutely wiped out. For context, people, last week, me and Tom recorded the 1 year anniversary of All In's, like, campaign. So it was a long day of filming. It was great fun. Like, so much fun. But it was a long 2 days.
It was
even longer for Tom because he did all of the traveling up and down the country.
Yeah, and again, code BSB people. The stuff that is coming is clean, super clean. Josh has got some on right now. I've got some All In Studios, but I've also got this one as well. I'll show you a glimpse of the back.
That zip hoodie is special.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit too hot, but I don't want to take it off.
I'm not wearing that to the gym. I like it that much.
Really?
Yeah, I've decided the hoodie, which is phenomenal, I will wear it to the gym. I've wore it to the gym, but the zip, not happening. That's staying at home.
I bet you people are fed up of us just like bigging them up. But guess what? I don't care. All right, I don't care because it's that good.
Mate, if we weren't sponsored, I would, say we went and helped Dan, I would say the same things.
Yeah.
It's 100%. So good. It's so good. And so whilst we was like all together in Manchester, we recorded a full squad podcast, which will be going live in about, is it 2 weeks?
It'll be 2 weeks. Yes, we're bringing out a week before the launch and the party.
Yeah.
Birthday party, mate. Party.
Yeah, and from talking to Dan, I feel like I know the brand a lot more. I know what he's wanting to do, and
Mhm.
it's so nailed to the point. The gap that he's trying to fill it's a magical gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we'll save.
it was very easy. Like I feel like a lot of the time, like clothing brands and their message gets very like misconstrued, or it's not very clear. But like it's clear to see what he's trying to achieve with it. You know?
Yeah, do you know whenever they're like, your a brand is trying to give any message. So like even like a coaching brand, what is your coaching brand's message? There's so many times where like you're almost just saying something that you want the audience to believe.
Mhm.
Where like with All In, it's so clear
Yeah.
that you almost don't need to say it. It's just like, oh yeah, that is the message. But yeah,
It takes sometimes though as well, mate. For like brands to have that, it takes years to be able to for that to like develop, and to like that kind of cult following almost like develop too. But I feel like it's picked up so quickly.
yeah,
All In,
yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
it's all
which
because
is
of us.
yeah, of course, mate, of course. But no, it's exciting. It's exciting. There's big things coming. We've got the birthday party. Should I call it a birthday party? Yeah, it's a birthday party. We're gonna party. Get the WKDs out.
Oh mate,
What?
let's get the WKDs out.
Should we actually?
Oh God, yeah.
Do
Right.
you know how
Anyone that's
to,
listening to the podcast that comes to see us, bring a WKD.
yes, bring some WKDs and we'll straw pedo them. Do you know what straw pedo is?
Oh my God. I was
Yeah.
just going to say, do you know what a torpedo is?
Oh yes. Did we just become best friends?
The thing that we did together last week, that made us best friends, didn't it?
What did we do? What did we do?
That
Oh, yeah, yeah, it did. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we'll keep that between
Nah.
us.
When we broke the candle.
Oh, mate, I was crying when you sent me through that video again. Jesus Christ,
Oh.
like that. That's not. It's not even funny.
No,
Like
it's
it's
not.
not even funny, but it's just hilarious. Just one of those things.
It's not.
And
Right. Yeah. If anyone wants to see the video of me breaking a candle, message me on Instagram. I'll send it you. It's so not funny, but me and Tom were so tired at the time that it just became the funniest thing ever.
like, do you know when you laugh and your stomach feels like it's gonna fall out of your ass, and like your abs just hurt, and oh, mate, it was one of them. It was great, and that was about like 2 hours before that. We'd spent about 45 minutes at a fuel station arguing with this guy because he wouldn't let us record the final scene for the campaign shoot that we were doing, and oh my god, it was painful. This guy, mate, he was just straight up having like, do you know when someone has like a little bit of authority,
Yeah,
right?
the
And they got
tiniest bit. You work at
power
it.
complex, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
work
like,
at a
no, you
petrol
can't.
station.
Yeah, it's like, come on, mate, come on.
Yeah, just allow it, fam.
But anyway, hopefully the actual people, you know, anyone watching this, you don't know what we're talking about. You'll see it. You'll see the video come out very soon. It's pretty much like a mini movie, and I don't know how that last scene is going to pan out, but no doubt Sam is going to pull something out of the bag. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Is that going to be playing at the? Hang on. How much can I speak about?
No.
Okay.
Don't
worry about
It's
it.
going to be at the nothing.
Yeah, that one.
Yes,
yeah,
it's going to be at the thing, Tom, but the people don't know about the thing.
Yeah, that sounds well good.
Yeah. There's so many things that we now know about as well that we can't talk about. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to sign like I'm so ditzy, mate. I feel like I need an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, mate.
Yeah. Right. I forgot to ask you, so I'll ask you now. How are you, mate? How's the last week been since we last recorded the poddy? Give us
I'm
an
stressed,
update.
mate. I'm stressed. I'm racking my brain. And guess what I just saw before I got on this podcast? Do you know, it's like motivational reels, right? Anyone that follows Ollie Marchon, do you know Ollie Marchon?
Yeah, I know Ollie Marchon. I met him.
He just had a reel, right? And it was like, you gotta burn the boats. He's like, sometimes you gotta just get your boats, burn them down, and give yourself no other options. So I'm just like, do I just burn my boats?
What's your boats? What are
I
the
don't know.
metaphorical boats?
Moving. I'm just gonna do it, mate.
I think you should.
Yeah, same. Do you know?
So
I feel like you get to moments in your life, right, where there's just like an opportunity or something where you're like a little bit, I don't know if I should do that, and like to me that's like, oh, you should probably do it then.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, basically context. I'm going to be moving to not Sheffield.
I so hoped you were going to say Sheffield. Go on, tell the people.
Manchester. It'll be Manchester. It's looking like Manchester. So yeah, it's I've lived in the south all of my life, and I love the south. Right, home is where the heart is. But at the same time, there's nothing down here. It's the butthole end of the country, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like, I trained in Ultraflex with Josh the other day, where I beat him on a few movements.
On one movement.
One
Carry
on. I'll take it. Yeah, just the kit, man. Just the kit, the environment. It is so important. I think you saw my post the other day, actually, mate. Like, I was just reflecting on the train journey home, and I was just like, it's so important, man. Like, even like you, for instance, like your training has improved from having one session with me.
Yeah.
So it's like if you could have that all the time, you know.
Imagine.
You got this little amateur just biting at your ankles trying to get you. It's like, you know, it's going to keep you on your toes. And it's the same thing for me as well. You know, it's like, I don't like being in a comfortable environment, you know, and I don't like being in a gym where it's not like stimulating for me. I want to go in a gym where there's fucking like Jack Eagles there, right? Like hack squatting, or there's like, you know, Jake Brayley with a smash thumb and he's just doing like 10 plates aside on a Smith machine squat, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to be doing Smith machine squats or any leg movements for that matter, but but you know what I'm trying to say. Environment, mate.
Look, not even just Ultraflex, but gyms in the north. Like we went to EP Jungle, and it's just full of people that they might not be there like physically, like they're not on our level physically, but they're just hungry to improve and develop themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the environment that you've got to get in.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's like if you're in say for instance, if you're like living with your parents and you're just like comfortable and you're in this little bubble, it's like, it's very easy to just get complacent, I think. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if you've got everything given to you on a plate, it's like, you're not going to have that drive to like want to achieve more. If you know what I mean? Like some of the most productive years of my life was when during like lockdown, moved into like a super expensive, like I don't even know how we got the place, mate, when I lived with my friend Mo and my other friend Alex, and we just got completely head over heels with like this like really nice apartment, and we couldn't afford it, but it was like, all right, well, if we can't afford it, then like that's just going to force us, we got no option but to just like get after it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when we built like multiple businesses that were doing really, really well. And like, that's probably, like in terms of like productivity, like I'm talking like waking up, and it's, the grind, but team no sleep. But yeah, just waking up like early morning, working all fucking day, and then not going to bed until like, you know, midnight most nights, and just feeling, but yeah, it's just like, I need that again, you know? I need it, mate.
Come and get it. You know where it is.
Come and get it. And plus, the food up there is wicked, mate, where you took me. What was the name of it?
What? Where we went food? Commune.
Yeah. Oh, commune, that's it. And it's like multiple different little places in one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got like 8 restaurants, but not like restaurants, like canteens. It's like one canteen with 8 vendors, and it is amazing. Anyone in the South Yorkshire area, commune, it's amazing.
It's
Fatico,
like
sushi,
pizzas,
curry, Project D donuts, you know.
Did you eat the other one that I left?
I think it's still on the. Oh no, did I eat it? I might have eaten it. I might have eaten it.
You woke up in the middle of the night in a daze, mate, like sleepwalking.
How's this happened? It's happened again.
Yeah, it's like a food market, and it's just cool, mate. We don't have stuff like that down here, you know. Do you like me see like children like running down the street with like a tire and a stick, and then they're like hitting the tire, and like that's what we do down here, mate.
Yeah. I
That's the
thought
only
that everyone
entertainment.
was, what's it called? Pagans. Is that a
Pagan,
thing? I thought everyone were pagans in Plymouth.
pretty much.
Yeah.
No. Did you know Plymouth is actually rated as like university students one of the ugliest unis in the UK?
What? Students are
Explains a
ugly.
lot. Explains a lot, Yeah,
Oh
yeah. In
my
terms of like demographic, it's like rated one of like the ugliest ones in the UK. So I heard. I don't know if that's just a rumor, but I would believe it based off of like my own anecdotal experience.
Mate, that's a rumour spread by Exeter University students. You are
Oh,
not ugly.
mate, Exeter. Rich, it's just like rich girls, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, mate, maybe you should go there.
I wouldn't. I can imagine you and Annabella living in Exeter.
No chance. Down south.
To like God.
Yorkshire, Yorkshire, Yorkshire.
Well, you are technically the king of Yorkshire.
I mean, I've got the trophy to prove it. I don't have the
Yeah.
sword, but I've got the trophy. That's all that matters. Right, yeah. So last week, me and Tom had many, many, many wonderful and interesting conversations. And I think my favourite conversation that we had about our previous jobs, I think that was one of my favourites.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for context, we were kind of talking about how, I met up with an individual whose father is a big fan of the podcast, and I hope his son now is. And we were talking about him as a PT, a coach, and where he wants to be. Again, he's 19 years old, like he's young, he's new in the game. And obviously, when you're young and you're 19, and with the wonderful access to social media that we've got, you end up looking up to people. You end up with almost like, oh yeah, I want to be like this person, but I'm going to try and do it quicker than what they've done it. So basically, what like I want to put across is, if you look up to me and Tom and you think I want to be like Josh and Tom, for starters, try and be better than us. And secondly, trying to replicate what we do now isn't authentic to yourself. So to get to like where we are, you've got to have done other things in the past, and that's how you kind of like build your personality. You kind of figure out what it is that you actually want to do, and that's what, in my eyes, gives you the motivation to go all in on something, because you know what the alternatives are, the shitter alternatives are. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yeah, it does. Like, I think what you're trying to say is like, you got to fuck around and find out, in a sense, because if I had to just come onto the scene and I'm trying to be AJ Morris,
Yeah,
because he's doing so well, right?
Yeah.
And he's like killing the game. He's one of the biggest coach, probably the biggest coach in the natural game. He's got a lot of followers, and like he's got a lot of influence. Like, if I just started trying to be AJ Morris, is that a guaranteed formula to work? No. So like just trying to like emulate someone and what they're doing doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. It's like, yeah, take like lessons and little kind of hints and whatnot, but at the same time you've got to kind of forge your own path. You've got to eat a little bit of shit yourself in order to crack the formula for you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I guess if you put it from like a perspective of like training, it's like, oh, just because this has worked well for Josh and he's getting good results and he's got really, really good at it, doesn't mean it's going to have the same effect for you.
Absolutely, mate.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. So, with that said, Tom, what was your first ever job, and how old were you when you started doing that job?
God, my first ever job.
First ever job.
My first ever job was labouring on site.
Snap.
Yeah?
Yep.
I think we've had a few similar jobs. Was yours rough?
Yep. So that's snap, right? That's the worst job that I've ever had in my life. How old were you when you did it?
Like 16, 17?
Yeah, I was 15, 16, and I'd go and help one of my uncles. It was a joiner, and basically just go and be his bitch for the day. Get paid like
Sweeping up, carrying
25,
timber.
yeah, 25, 30 quid max for, probably a 12-hour hard graft. And it was shit.
Is that how much you got a day? 30 quid?
Yeah. In
Oh my
cash.
God.
So, didn't pay tax on it, bro.
Yeah. You did a good job at avoiding. You nearly broke over the
That
the
12 grand threshold.
£500 tax bracket. Yeah, mine was awful, mate. So I was like 16, and I basically where I was doing labouring, I was doing it with my brother because he was a carpenter. It was the hilliest place ever. Like ever. Steps, like I think the one house we were working at, right, had like 250 steps going up to the top in order to get to the house, just like a snake, like a path of it.
Jesus.
And they were building like a whole extension on the house. I single-handedly carried up the extension myself. If you were to like, get all the materials together, like the bags, the bricks, the wood, plaster boards, all that kind of stuff, mate, it's horrible. Worst job ever. But I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, 100%.
At the same time.
Never regretted it. I've never felt, oh, I wish I didn't do that. That were a waste of time. With like a shit job like that, you learn how to work hard with very little reward.
Yeah.
Much like bodybuilding, you've got to work really hard to not get a great amount of reward, but no, at some point it'll pay off.
Yeah. And it's like when you start coaching, for instance, and just because it's anecdotal, it's so easy to like refer to, but you spend like, I remember like my first like 6 months, year of like coaching, like bubbling between like, working from like 5 to 10 clients, was like long. Like you'd gain one, I'm on 6, get another, I'm on 7, and then it's like you drop 2. It's like, oh
yeah,
God, it just feels like you're never gonna get anywhere with it. So it's like it's painful and it's like shit and it's like a proper grind to like get anywhere with it. But yeah, it pays off. And it's even like, for me, all those jobs that I've done where I've just hated them, although in the time it was shit, it like fuels me to work at what I do right now. Because I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to carrying plasterboards up 250 steps and then the wind blowing and the plasterboard snaps and wraps around your fucking head. I don't want to do that. So, and then after that it was McDonald's.
I also had a job in McDonald's. It weren't my second job. I think it was my third or fourth.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of, he was like, yeah, do you know what? I actually like would want a career in McDonald's. My fourth job.
Yeah. Like, I'm just working my way up, being a little bitch labourer, and then I got a job working. Oh, mate, my first proper job that like I had shifts and stuff for. Can you remember USC, like a clothing store?
Yeah.
Owned by Sports Direct. I got a job there. One of my sisters was working there, so she got me in. Shout out to Beth and Lauren. Actually, it were both of my sisters. They were both working there.
Were they? They had the whole Krog family running a USC.
Mate, we put the C. It was actually US before we started working there, and then they were like, "Oh, Krogs! Look at all these Kroggans." USC.
What did USC actually stand for?
You sexy Kroggans.
There we go.
I've no idea, mate. So started working there, and the money was shit. I was on £3.72 an hour. The people I was working with were all right, but yeah, it was absolutely terrible pay. So on I'm going to say my second shift there, I was working on footwear, and this woman came in, and she was like, "I'm wanting to return these shoes, but I've got some dirt on them." I went, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll go and clean them." She went, "Oh, do you want paying?" I was like, "You can do if you want." I was only like 16, 17. I weren't old. I weren't wise at all. She went, "Oh, well, will £20 do?" I was like, "Fuck yeah. This is a week's wage to go and clean this woman's shoes." So went into the stock room, got a wipe out, started cleaning them. This other lad was like, "Oh, Josh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Mate, this woman's just come in. She paid me 20 quid to clean her shoes." So I went out, gave them to her. And then my manager went, "Come into the office, mate." So went upstairs, Went into the office. Pack your stuff. Give me that £20. Go home.
Really?
Yeah. Second shift, I got sacked.
Because, well, I guess you're not allowed to take money off customers because it's not for
Yeah,
your business.
yeah, something
You're
like that.
profiteering off the business.
Yeah,
You're
pretty
running your
much.
own shoe shining company in there, mate.
Yeah, I was devastated. I remember walking to the bus stop, literally bawling my eyes out. I was like, oh my
Aw.
God, I've ruined my life. I've got sacked from my first proper job on my second shift. So a few days passed, I went back in and I apologized till like blue in the face, and they gave me another job. Ended up staying there for like a year, 18 months. And yeah, I learned a valuable lesson there. But it's still funny, isn't it, that, you
Yeah,
know,
man. Crogs, clogs. That's
yeah,
the next one, mate. Just coaching, out the window.
just
Right.
cleaning straighteners, bruh.
Shoe shining. You'll see Krog and at the local corner in Sheffield town centre, just with his little box, shining your
Yeah,
clogs.
that is me. That was me back in the day.
How many
Yeah,
jobs have you been fired from?
I got fired from USC and then rehired, obviously. Got fired from Domino's. Right, that Domino's was class. Domino's was
Go
fantastic. Right, so me and my mates did this full summer working at Domino's. Just delivery driver. It were easy. September came, and I was like, right, I'm probably gonna leave because I'm going to uni. I'll get a different job. It's not very respectable, working in a Domino's in your first year of uni. I didn't want to get bullied. So this one shift, I knew I wanted to leave. I had to do a month's notice, so I was going to hand my notice in at the end of the shift. And they gave me this pizza or this sign that was like 2-for-1 pizzas or something. And they were like, right, go to this dual carriageway. We want you to dance at the side of the road with this sign. Oh, and he taking the piss. Went, no, go on, go off you go. So I went on the side of this road and I just sat, put the sign on the floor and just sat on the floor texting. I think I was texting my dad saying, Dad, they wanted me to dance on the side of the road. I'm not bloody doing it. My dad texts me back saying, son, you have 9 GCSEs and A-levels. You don't need to do that shit. So I went back in and I was like, my dad says I've got GCSEs and A-levels and I don't need to do this shit. They went, all right, go on, give us your uniform then and fuck off. So I took my uniform off, right, Tom? I took my uniform off and threw it in the oven. I was like, fuck yes, I'm out of here. Yeah.
Did you kick off?
Mate.
Was it like a little bit heated?
Yeah. There were dickheads. The guy that was like my boss was, I don't know, a bit of a weird guy. Shout out Nathan Unwin. What a guy. Weirdo. Yeah. So I kicked off, stormed out. I didn't get paid for a full month. So I basically did a month for free. Yeah, mate, I broke the oven. I broke the pizza oven. Oh, great times.
That
Great
is
times.
I'm guessing you're when was the last time you ate at Domino's? You barred it.
Oh, it's been a while.
Did you ever used to like nick the pizzas there?
You are?
Did you ever used to like say like, oh no, like there was no one at the delivery, no one answered the door?
We kind of did this a lot. So if anyone's working at Domino's, this is my top tip for you. So on the shelves where you pick the pizzas up and then you go and deliver them out, just take another pizza, put it in your bag and leave. Eat that pizza whilst you're out in your deliveries. And then, you've got a free pizza. Then when the people realize, oh, the pizza's disappeared, or we've got a pizza missing, you just go out again. You get paid twice for one delivery. Amazing. And you get your food, obviously, for free.
Great for bulking.
Amazing for bulking. That was the fattest that I'd ever been by a mile. Like,
I've done a pizza bulk.
Yeah.
I didn't steal them. I bought them from Aldi, but I've done a pizza bowl. It's effective. You get strong.
Did you not steal from Aldi?
No.
I've never stolen from Aldi. I've only ever stolen from Woolworths in Australia to get Quest bars, and then Domino's.
I feel bad for like stealing from Aldi because it's already cheap. It's like, what would your life come to if you haven't,
Imagine
Yeah.
life is at a point where you're stealing from Aldi.
Yeah, I've never been fired, but I was on the edge at McDonald's. I was on the edge.
What did
So
you do?
uh, I threw food at someone, at a customer. I threw the bag at their head, mate.
You bastard! What, kicking off or banter?
Nah, kicking off. Threw a bag at their head. So, right, I refused to go on tills at McDonald's, right? Because I was a sociable guy, but if someone was to give me jip, and like, people, you'll probably know this because you worked at McDonald's, people don't necessarily like treat the staff there very nice. A lot of them are young kids. You get your builders and that coming to the window or getting their food, and they're just going to be assy, right? So working in a drive-through, I refused to go on the tills because I just didn't want to like deal with customers. They asked me multiple times. I was just like, nope, not happening. And so I was either in the kitchen or I was on the window. I was lifting. I'd like been lifting for about a year and a half. As had a little bit of muscle. All right, half decent looking lad. And
With your
so
little
Tom,
hat on.
yeah, my little hat on, a little yellow uniform. He's like, you're going on the window, mate. He's like, you're a good sociable guy. I was like, cool. I like the window because it's just handing out food. It's easy. This knobhead pulls up, right? He's clearly been like, it's 5 o'clock after his shift. He's annoyed. He's hungry. He wants his food. He's been in the drive-through waiting X amount of time. Comes to the window, right? And I give him his drink and I go, yeah, can you just pull up for me, mate? And he goes, you fucking useless cunt. Like that. And he drove off like quite quickly, pulled up into his space. And I was like, all right then. Okay. And then basically his food comes. I'm like, oh, is that number XX, for this reg plate? Like, yeah. And then someone's like, I'll run it out. I was like, no, I'll run it out. So I grab the bag and I'm walking out to his car. And he's, as I'm approaching, he sees me coming over. He's winding down the window. I fucking just launched it straight through the window. Just fucking threw it in the car, mate. I was like, there you go, you cunt.
What? And then did you run inside like, oh shit, he's going to kill me?
Biggest adrenaline dump ever. I was like, have I actually just done that? But I was just seeing red. And this is why I didn't want to go on tills, because like if someone fucking so anyway, I went back inside, got back on the window. I did like nothing had happened. About 15 minutes later, he comes back to the window, drives round, and he apologizes. He apologized to me for how he spoke to me. So that was nice of him.
And now he's an online client. Well done, Tom.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. He's an online client, and he's made loads of progress.
Yeah, exactly. But now, so it was a funny job though, McDonald's. It was a funny job. But I've never been fired like you. That was the closest I've been, I think. Like my manager did find out, and it wasn't necessarily, they weren't happy about it. But there was no complaints. Yeah. So it is what it is,
Hey, look, he admitted as well that he was in the wrong. So I think that's a good decision. Well done.
I don't know what state his Big Mac was in, but that's his issue, isn't it?
Oh my god. How long did you work at McDonald's for?
Oh, not long. I think it was like probably like 7-8 months.
Oh, that's longer than I lasted. I lasted about 6 weeks.
You told me about that. What was it? What happened?
They like changed the shift pattern. Then I just thought I can't be arsed. I just got a job as a Hollister model. You see, so
did you actually,
mate? What can I say?
Okay.
Yeah, I worked. Yeah, I went from McDonald's to Hollister, so they were a little bit of a step up. And it was.
Hang on. All right. So there's a little bit of mystique behind that, right? So did you just sell clothes? Was you just a store clerk, or did you actually like do a bit of like modeling?
No, I didn't do any modeling. So the Hollister model is a sales assistant. Yeah. Hollister back in the day was like really backwards almost.
Mm.
So like you'd be called a Hollister model, or you'd be called a stock. Like, oh, you're just in stock. So you
Right.
worked in the back if you were, ugly, or you worked as a model if you were not. And
Mate,
and I must have been borderline because I ended up doing both jobs.
right.
Like, he's okay, but he's also a little bit ugly. So
So
then I
when
was
it was like
like,
summer dying down, yeah, you are model. Peak like bulk off season, bit of acne here and there from eating so much food, getting the back, mate.
yeah, you mate, you're going in stock today. Oh fuck, I've let it go too far.
I've spilled.
No. Yeah, yeah. Hollister was such a laugh.
Was that?
Yeah, mate. Loads of students, paid really quite well. Yeah, really, really good time. Really good time. And then
Is it
after that, gone.
is it still a thing?
Hollister, yeah.
Like the stores and that?
It's a thing in Sheffield.
I mean, like, because they've got one. Like, closest one to me is in Exeter, and I've been in there. They smell weird. They smell quite nice.
They
They're very
smell,
dark on the inside as
banging.
well. I feel like if you worked there for enough years, you'd like gain night vision. But with I wonder if they still have like the same kind of approach to it, because that wouldn't really go down
No,
too well, in my opinion.
they've changed it. So there
Mm.
was a big thing with like Abercrombie and Fitch, how they run the business, and it was all like that. Like the CEO were like shagging
Discrimination.
everyone, and wanted to sleep with him, he'd sack him. And like it was a really bad time for them. So
What a legend.
obviously they changed a few things, and they changed the model name to a brand representative. Yeah.
Do they still do they employ ugly people now, though?
No, they are very. Do they still not employ, or do they now employ?
Do they now employ ugly people?
They are very inclusive.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
very inclusive. But yeah, good time. Enjoyed it. Can't remember why I left. Oh my god, I left because this is a bit bad. I got someone else sacked.
Oh God.
Oh,
How?
it was bad. Right. So my granddad died. Like
Oh,
this is like 10 years. It's 10. Oh my god,
sorry, mate.
it's 9 years ago today.
Really?
Oh my god.
Nah, not today.
Today, the Tuesday, today.
Oh my God.
That's mad. So my granddad died, and I rang up. I was like, "Look, I'm not coming into work. My granddad's died." And the woman that answered was like, "This is poor commitment. It's
Sound.
not what we expect from our staff. You should be putting the company first." And she said, I'm going to take you off the system. I was like, all right, whatever.
What?
So then I got in touch with one of my mates who was like a bit higher up than her, and he sacked her. But then after that, I felt that bad that she got sacked that I never went back.
Really,
Yeah, bad times,
mate.
Yeah.
Should have gone to her funeral, mate.
Yeah, silly
Should've-
bitch.
Should have just killed that bitch.
Yeah, she's
What? Carry on. What was you gonna say?
she's labouring on sites now.
Yeah, silly bitch.
Yeah, 30 quid a day, silly sod.
We're definitely getting cancelled.
Yeah,
No, but what job did you have before? What was the last job before you broke into like
The
your
fitness
PT online
industry.
coaching? Yeah, because PT was like the start of it. Like that's the thing. We're like, yeah, this is my jam.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I worked at Nike. So Nike was like,
Oh,
so after Hollister, I went and got a job at Nike in Rotherham. After a year of working at Nike in Rotherham, I went on like Nike's internal recruitment thing. So like if you wanted a promotion, you'd go on there and apply for all the promotion jobs. And there was jobs going in Sydney, Australia. So at the time, I just turned 20. And I was like, I'll just have a look, see if there's anything for the summer. Applied for a job. It was a management job in Sydney, and unbelievably, I got it. And they were like, "Oh, when can you start?" And I get 20-year-old Josh. He was just like, "Fuck 'em, I'll give this a go." I was like, "Oh, I can get there in 2 weeks." So literally 2 weeks later, I flew out to Australia and did a full gap year. And then, once came back from that, got a job in a gym, and it just kind of took off from there.
Mad. And there's was you competing when you went over to Australia? Did you compete before? Did you compete after?
No. So my first year of competing was about 18 months into being a PT/coach. I finished off my degree, and then as soon as I finished my degree, I basically half started prep.
So do you rate Nike as an employer?
Yeah. Nike as an employer was phenomenal. Like,
there we go. Any young people out there?
Serious way to fast track yourself. Go and get a job at Nike. Like, it's one of the biggest, well, possibly the biggest clothing brand globally.
How did you fit into that management job then? How did you find it?
Just winged it, mate.
Obviously you just stepped up. Well, because like, what job did you have? What was your role in the UK?
I was just working just a store assistant in again at Nike, a bit like Hollister. They call their staff athletes.
Oh.
So I was a Nike athlete. Yeah,
little bit corny, innit?
Yeah. Oh, mate, seriously corny. And you should see some of the people that was athletes. Like, never trained anything in their life. But someone at Nike once said, all that you need is a body to be an athlete. So therefore, if you have a body, you are an athlete.
Technically, like if you're like a speed eater, are you an athlete? I guess you are. It's a sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember Furious Pete?
Who?
Furious Pete.
No.
Oh my god. Come on. Mate.
Furious Pete. No.
Was you into like YouTubers like a lot when you was younger?
I used to watch KSI.
Oh, he's so basic, man. What was
YouTube
the
Bodybuilders?
What was the KSI? Well, there's loads of KSI songs. Jesus Christ! Like I used to,
Lamborghini.
I used to watch a bit of KSI, and that was never even into like FIFA, but like the sweaty goals stuff and like all that kind of. Do you remember that? Like back in the day, that was like, I feel like that was like peak KSI.
Yeah, that was KSI at his best, ripping Emil Heskey. Do you know who Heskey is?
Yeah,
yeah. The man.
Who's that? Who's that? Like super jacked football player?
Adebayo Akinfenwa.
Akinfenwa. Yeah. He's massive. Athlete, mate.
Big boy.
Built.
Big boy.
What job did I have before coaching? Mate, I left university. This is when I was like, so how old am I now? I'm 27 now.
Tom. Go back.
What?
So after you finished at McDonald's, what did you do after that?
Oh, after I finished at McDonald's, I went and worked at a hotel as a conference and banqueter. So that's setting up weddings. That's also like it was a little bit like silver service kind of stuff, like breaking napkins on people's laps and pouring fucking drinks. Yeah, it was great. I did that like on and off. I used to work two jobs. I used to work from like 7 a.m. till midday, and then I used to go to this other job at like 2 p.m. and then work till like 2 a.m. and do that like a few times a week. Yeah. Like it was almost like we used to like compete with each other, like who could do the like longest shift, because we just used to go upstairs and like go in the staff room, just sit in there and do nothing. So I did that. What did I do after that? I've had so many jobs. Like I can't even remember what jobs I've had, mate, in all honesty.
The jobs that I've said, they're probably a third of the jobs that I've actually had.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a bad thing, man, having loads of jobs. You know, I honestly don't think it's a bad thing having quite a lot of jobs. It doesn't sound like the best thing in the world, because you probably feel like a little bit lost when you're doing it. It was like, fuck, what am I going to do with myself? But at the end of the day, like you got to try so many different things until you find out like what it is that you want to do. You know, if I hadn't, maybe like I literally could have gone to McDonald's and like loved it. Because some people do. Some people go there and they just like click with it and like, yeah, I actually quite like this. I want to make a career of it. You know, work my way up, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think yeah, so I can't remember what job I had after that, but the last job I had was working in a cafe. Left university, like 50 grand's worth of debt over my head, and I was working in a hospital cafe, mate. It was the worst thing ever.
Oh
Like
my
the worst.
god.
I don't even like coffee either. I used to go home stinking of coffee. This is like a first world problem because I'm sure a lot of people would like to work in a cafe, in this world.
I'd love that.
Um, yeah, but then it was after that I managed to like get a job in an Anytime Fitness as a membership consultant. So not even like a PT. Like I was a membership consultant, just like selling memberships, cleaning shit off toilets. Yeah, it was great. And then I broke into
Brilliant.
PT, and then it snowballed from there.
So, at what point did you get qualified as a PT?
So I
What
got
age?
qualified as a So I left university and I didn't apply for one job. Like I loved my degree, but I was like, nah, I just want to do fitness. Like I don't want to do design, like be a product designer. I was like, I'm just going to go into fitness. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to make it work. So I got qualified as a PT probably like a year after I left university. Because I was like, right, well, the first thing that makes sense to me is just get a PT qualification. Like that's like my foot in the door. So I did that whilst I was working at the cafe. And then got my qualification and then managed to land that job in a gym, but they didn't actually have any spaces for PTs, so I had to hold off for a long amount of time with my degree whilst working in that gym. But it was still all right. I'm still managed to like kind of progress and gain a few online clients like very, very, very early on, and yeah, just kind of built it from there.
Oh, lovely.
How long have you
Lovely.
actually been a PT? Well, how long had you done PT for now since you did that?
So, I qualified as a PT when I was 18, 26 now. And
18.
yeah, yeah. So I was like
Mad.
doing dodgy bits of PT, as in like going to gyms and training people without paying rent, membership, anything
Love
from
that.
18 to 20, 21.
How many clients did you have when you're doing that?
Not many. Like, I think the most that I got to between 18 and 21 was probably 10. Um, but
That's fun.
like the logistics of it was horrific. Like I'd be sneaking my PT clients into Ultraflex or Iron Athlete, what it was called at the time, training them there, going to a gym called Ziggy's Workhouse, training people there. Like literally being everywhere, exercise for less before it became JD. Yeah, just trying to make £10 or like 15 quid here and there. We're mad.
You're a wheeler dealer, aren't you?
I love it, mate. I love it.
Love the hustle, love the grind. No,
Yeah.
that's class though. But what's the biggest lesson you've learned from all of that, mate? From like obviously you're doing what you enjoy now. What would you say is like your biggest lesson that you've learned? Your main takeaway?
I, th- I think it's more like me comparing like what our youth was probably like compared to what the youth was now. Like, don't compare where you're at to where other people are at. Like, it provides you no value at all. The value is probably digging a little bit deeper and seeing what these people have done to get to where they're at now, rather than just looking at where they are now. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think you nailed it on the head, mate.
I don't look up to anybody that I don't know what journey they've been on. Not one person.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
What's your
I
biggest
think
lesson, Thomas?
don't don't take the advice of someone that hasn't walked the path you want to walk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you're going for like this job, for instance, and it's like unless that person, like obviously like your parents, for instance, like you're going to listen to your parents. But if you've got an idea in regards to, oh, I want to be a PT, or I want to be an online coach, or I want to do this, and then you've got this idea of something that you want to try, you've got a bit of shit, you want to throw it at the wall and you want to see if it's going to stick, right? but your parents are like, or your friends, for instance. Friends is usually like one of the ones like most influential because it's like your group, and it's like people that are
Yeah.
younger, maybe know a little bit more about things, but they're like, oh, I don't know about that. This doesn't sound like a good idea. Maybe you should try this. And it's like people like deterring you from that, or people even like shooting down the idea. But at the end of the day, like if that person hasn't done it, they are not physically walked that path that you want to walk, then it's like, how are they to know? So yeah, trust your gut instinct sometimes. And if you're young as well, like it doesn't matter if you go through a lot of jobs. It doesn't matter if you cock up, because at the end of the day, like if you hadn't have done those things and tried them out, like you've done all those jobs you've been fired from, like you wouldn't know that you want to do what you do now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you never know, mate. You might still be nicking Domino's pizzas.
Yeah.
If you'd never
I wouldn't
found out
know.
that PT was what you wanted to do.
Yeah. 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 We're now 50 minutes in. I feel like people know about us even more.
Not that they need to.
Is there any other topics of conversation that you would like to discuss this evening? I've got
How are your
one.
boys?
Go on.
No, you go on. Go on.
No, what were you going to say?
I feel like yours is going to be a bit more like nuanced, a little bit more of like an abstract question or topic.
No, mine's a little bit more like spice.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in bodybuilding, is it acceptable to talk trash about a fellow competitor on Instagram?
Is it acceptable to do it?
Is it acceptable to do it? Like, should you be doing it? Is it a normal thing to do? Because bodybuilding a little bit different to like sport, like tennis, football. It's very much down to you. It's not like an environmental, like other variables can't really come into play. It's very much your physique versus someone else's. Talking shit about the people that you're going up against isn't going to make you any better. It's not going to make them perform any worse. The only outcome of it is one of you looks like a dickhead, or there's two outcomes. One of you look like a dickhead, or both of you do.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the reason why it's probably more common in bodybuilding as well, though, is because of like what it is and the type of people that are involved in bodybuilding. It's like so ego driven, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do you know
you're
what I
right.
mean? But then I don't know. It depends. I feel like having rivalry is good. I do, like in terms of like not like beef, but like, oh fuck, I really want to beat that fucking Josh Croggan. I want to beat Chris Randall, Kez. Fuck that guy. But yeah. I don't rate it when there's like genuine beef online. Like that's just sad in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, mate,
it's sad.
Third person perspective, you are literally on a stage. Like you just did a few months of dieting. You're jumping on a bodybuilding stage in your little pants and your tan. You've got this like beef with someone. It's like, get over yourself, mate.
Yeah. So if you want to be friends with me and Tom, please don't talk shit about other competitors online. Just stand next to them, right? And if you want to use them as motivation in months and years to come, do that. That's great. But just don't be a dickhead.
Yeah. Do you know when we competed against each other? Did you like? Bet you didn't even see me as a threat, did you? You just look at me like this guy.
I remember putting a story on and tagging you, Mo, and Levi Walker, who's a WNBF pro, on my story. That's the one time that I've done it.
Right. And what was that like?
It was my latest progress picture, and I tagged you 3 people in it.
And you were like, yeah, take a look, boys. This is what you're working with.
Yeah, boys. Hope you bring in the heat.
Hey, boys. Look at me.
Hey, boys.
You like to see?
I'm single in Sheffield. Number is below.
23, single, long walks on the beach.
No, I don't.
Have you ever had
I live
beef
in
with someone?
Sheffield. You are?
Have you had beef with someone, like actual beef? Have you had someone call you out ever?
I had someone last year. I had someone who's now like turned into like a little fanboy. Um, him and his girlfriend were commenting on my posts on Instagram, like, "Oh, you're not very good," and then his girlfriend was like tagging him saying, "At whatever he's called, is better than you." So I was like replying like, "Oh, I guess I'll see him at the Worlds then." What a silly thing to say.
Was he a pro?
No, he'd never competed before.
Oh. Is he going to watch this?
Probably not. But
Oh, okay.
if you are and you know who you are, I'm glad it stopped. I am really glad it stopped. Have I had any
'Cause
beef
it-
with anyone?
I've never had any beef with anyone
I
ever.
don't think so. Shall we
Mm.
create some beef
I feel like we should, mate. Yeah,
with you
I've
and
always
me?
wanted to. I feel like it'd be funny. Like, who could we like rip into? Who should we create beef with? Who like jumps out at you?
David
First one
Langsdale.
for me.
I
First one
don't.
for me is like Finn and Reese.
Oh, Finn. Did you see?
They
Hey, did
think
you
they've
see
got a
Finn's?
huh
Did you see Finn's men's physique update earlier?
today.
Yeah.
Should we go on it and comment on
He
it
put
and like rip
he
into
put on
him?
his story. No, it's on his story. He hasn't got the
Okay.
balls to grid it. Yeah. I'm not losing any sleep, put it that way, bro.
So he thinks he can come into what he thinks he can wear his little board shorts around us into our territory like that. Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
Finn, you're probably listening to this. Maybe you're not. But watch where you're
Maybe
walking,
clients are.
mate.
Yeah. Get off our stage.
And we've got a better podcast than you as well, mate. So that's that. How's your boys doing? Prep
How's my boys doing? Or what's my boys doing?
for the first two shows of the year. You got the NBW Classic, and you got the. You've also got the
PCA.
WMBF Novice and PCA.
Yep. I'm PCA.
How's it going?
I have got Theo Gio, Mark, Jack. I think I've got like 5 people doing them.
Okay, sick.
It might be more. Yeah. No,
Sick.
I've got 6 people. 6 people?
Is everyone on track?
Yeah. I'm gonna say for the most part they're on track by my terms. So the way that I like to prep people is kind of having a rough idea of where their stage leanness is. That's like, peeled. And then just basically making sure that there's... I'm not a fan of like a really steady, oh yes, we're just going to gradually increase steps and decrease food over the next 12 weeks. I'm a fan of having like, giving people like a really aggressive week. So if you wanted to have a nice linear prep, right, it's going to take longer. So having like really aggressive weeks, like where your food is low and your expenditure is quite high, but then after that week, you kind of come out of it. Yeah, everyone's on track for that, but they need to actually be able to do them tough weeks and make the most out of them.
Yeah. It's a tough one as well, because if it's someone's first time prepping, obviously, like, you give them enough time to do it anyway, but you don't know how their body's going to respond in like the latter stages of a prep. You don't know, getting off that last little bit of fat, for instance, how hard it's going to be for someone to do that, especially when it's their first prep. That's like the challenging thing. But I feel like for my guys, and what I did with my prep this year was just more of an aggressive approach to the start. Because almost that slow linear, like I remember like a few years ago, it was always preached, you got to do it slow, just take your time, small little adjustments, just small little tinkers over time. But it's like, I feel like if you get ready fucking early, aggressive at the start, where your body's in a position to be able to do it, like, it's almost, if you're taking too long and have that slow, like gradual approach, it's almost like the stress of knowing that you're potentially not going to be ready as well is detrimental. It's like, fuck, am I going to be ready on time? Whereas like, if you just get it done, get it out of the way, cruise in, it's like, it gives you so much confidence. It's like, it's cool. I'm ready. It's sound. So that's just what I'm going through with my guys at the moment. I think I'm going to have some guys against you, mate. I've got 3 at the moment lined up. So
Good.
it's going to be good.
Yeah. My first guy on stage is my Aussie boy, Phil. And
Really?
he's, 8 weeks out now? He's in a fantastic spot for 8 weeks out. Awesome. Yeah. We're doing an aggressive week this week, and obviously it's Wednesday morning there, and I think he's a kilo down already in effectively 2 days, which is exactly what you want to be seeing.
Oh yeah. Is he has he noticed much like drop off in performance? Is he still hanging in there pretty well? Still feeling pretty fresh? Or
No. He's looking pretty decent. If anyone can see that. Yeah.
Shout out Phil. Yeah, he's looking good, man.
He's looking mint. I would love it if Phil, got a win, a big win.
What did he get in his first season?
Phil's first ever season, he won his class. He won like juniors, first timers. In Australia, they do it a little bit different. Like there's loads of classes in each show. So they have like a first timers juniors, a juniors, a novice, open, like loads of them. So yeah, he did well in his first year, and then he did his second season where he came over to the UK. I think he placed 6th in the WNBF British. Yeah, we're going to do the UK DFBA finals, but to be honest, he like preps, did the shows that like we're aiming for. He obviously didn't win them, so it was like, oh, I'm not going to win the UK DFBA because it's going to be the same people. So we just ended up having a nice time with him being over in the UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this year he wants to get a win. He's obviously getting married this year. In case have I said it on the podcast?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Phil's getting married. I'm going to Australia. Yeah, it'd be great if we could get a win and then get ready for his wedding with him out without him being shredded. Yeah.
Have his suit just like hanging off of him.
Yeah,
he just looks like a clothes hanger underneath his suit, mate. That'd be a good look.
I'm worried that he's gonna like rebound up and not fit his suit.
How far after is his wedding from his show?
3 or 4 months.
I'd be fine.
It'll be fine.
I'll just put like a decent amount of weight on him to start like pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah,
and then just hold, just like for like a month.
Get him big quick. Get all the measurements in, and then just don't get any bigger.
Yeah. No, honestly, it might be a good idea. Like, for 8 weeks post show, like 6 to 8 weeks post show, just like drive his weight up quite aggressively, get it all out of his system, and then just hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting season ahead, mate. Can't wait for it.
Who's your first people on? Who's your first? Is it 3? Did you say?
Yeah, so I've got someone is about to start prep, so it's a little bit of a later start than ideal, but they are pretty in shape. So I'm not too.
Is he a new client, or have you worked with this person a while?
New. So it's a little bit like, yeah. It's always good, like, for anyone that's like looking to work with a coach, like for a prep specifically, don't just knock on the door 12 weeks out, ideally, and it'd be like, mate, I want to prep.
It's honestly right. From 12 weeks out, I would say that is the minimum amount of time to start working with someone. And then every week extra that you can get on top, you are giving yourself so much more of a chance of having a successful prep, or like an easier prep almost. Because it's just more time. It's more data to collect. I love the word data.
Just that. You don't know. It's very hard to
learn
within a span of 11 weeks. 11 weeks, you're at peak week, right? For show number 1 or whatever. Like, you've only had 11 weeks to be able to get to learn how that person ticks.
Yeah.
What works well for their body, what actually, how to bring out the best from that person as an athlete. If you've been working together for 2 years, it's completely different. You can communicate on a much deeper level. You can really kind of open yourself up. When that person is like having a tough time and whatnot, they can actually voice that because they feel comfortable to do so, So yeah, don't just, I've done it, in the past when I was younger, like first season, just rock up and, knock on the door like, I want to prep, and it's like, okay, well, we've got like 12 weeks to turn this around. It never has like the proper result that you want ever, and for instance, when I worked with Lewis this time round, I think I started like seven months before prep started, just to build up a good amount of time, some rapport and whatnot, meet up with him, have some sessions, just really build that fucking relationship, and it pays off big time. 100%.
Like I am in every industry, success leaves clues, and bodybuilding is no different. Look at the people that are successful. It's very, 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 very rare. In fact, I don't think I've actually seen it where someone will work with a coach 3 months out, and the individual that's just started prep will win the shows, turn pro, or like even get near to their maximum potential. It'll always just be, oh, if I had a little bit more time, if we had an off season together, imagine what would have happened. Yeah. So if you're wanting to work with a coach, I'm obviously not plugging me and Tom, but just start as soon as possible.
Yeah, 100%. And it almost when you get someone like, I've had it all the time where like someone like inquires, for instance, and like, yeah, like I want to do this by this time. And it's like, just start a bit earlier, like, and it's not a way to like push sales or to get you hooked in for longer. It's just like, no, like your final result is going to be so much better if you're going to go through this process. You're going to commit yourself to that. You want the fucking best for it,
Yeah.
Don't want to half-ass it, man. You want to give it your all. So, hang on, didn't you won a pro card after 2 weeks of working with AJ Morris, didn't you?
Oh my god, it's because AJ's so good. AJ's the goat. Should we try and get AJ on?
Yeah, why not?
Nah. I'm always
We'll
really
about
shy
all his
to ask
previous
AJ.
jobs. I want to talk to him about go-karting, mate.
Yeah. I want to know what AJ Morris's favourite sugar-free drink is.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone's asked these questions. It's always talking about like fatigue management and all these nuanced bodybuilding talk. Let's talk about cars, go-karts, and fucking everything else.
Oh, AJ,
what toilet
what
roll
do you
likes
think
to
about
use?
salt manipulation on peak week? Oh, no one cares. AJ, what's your favourite film? We're gonna make it happen.
Did you cry at Marley and Me, AJ? I bet he didn't.
We're gonna find out.
I bet he went, oh yes. He did.
As soon as the film finished. Yes. As soon as the film finished. Again.
Right, we'll leave it there. Okay, that's the most random podcast ever. But people, if you enjoyed it, then maybe consider following us, coming back again next time, join the conversation, whatever you want to do. If you want to grab some all-in bodybuilding clothing, use code BSB at the checkout for the best garms in the game. And other than that, Josh, thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping me waiting for half an hour before we got on here. I forgive you. But next time, make sure you're on time, all right?
I was just letting you cook, bro.
That's all right. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Right. Catch you in a bit.
Bye.